very international story call. It's great to hear people from all over the place. My name's Leslie Probart. I live in North Yorkshire in England, and I'm delighted to be your host today. We have some wonderful stories lined up for you, both from this side of the pond and the other side of the pond. So let's get the call started. A little bit about Relive first, just to say this is a wonderful 26-year-old food science company. If you're listening for the first time, you're going to hear what you need to hear to make you excited and let you realize just what we have our hands on. Because in Relive, we have the most amazing product that fuels an incredible business opportunity. And whatever it is you're looking for, whether it's for better health or for an increase in your finances or both, you can find it with Relive. And what we do is we simply share other people's experiences with you. And I've invited some people on the call today to share. And first of all, I'm going to go to Debbie over in America. So, Debbie, would you like to share with everybody just what's happened, not just for you, but for your family too? That would be great.
I'd love to. Thank you. And it's kind of exciting. We are on this side of the pond, but we're going to get to travel, my husband and I, there in July to France and England. So we're very much looking forward to that. It's kind of fun to share with all of you today. But anyway, I am Debbie Murphy. I live in Evansville, Indiana. I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom, have been for the past 30-some years. And my husband has been a pastor and a vocal music educator. We have 7 children and now 2 grandchildren, and we have all gotten a variety of results on Relive. So we're a Relive family. I could go way too long telling all of those stories, but we're just one very grateful family, and I cannot imagine us being without this. And as each of the older 2 have gotten married, they've gotten their spouses on the products, and that's led to our daughter-in-law having 2 picture-perfect pregnancies, just wonderful all the way through. Recovery was great, and so they're very thankful for it too from that. And of course, there are grandbabies, so we're thankful too. But, Relive has, I think, charted a course. It's strong language, but charted a course for our family. And it was because 8 years ago, our oldest child, our daughter who had been born with a heart defect, and had developed a lung condition that's incurable, was dying. And we had done all, the doctors had done all, and a friend had been sharing Relive with us, and she very faithfully came back to us and got a little bold and just said, I can't promise you anything, and I'm not promising you anything, but what have you got to lose? Well, that really hit me in the heart and the head, and then we had to kind of bring my daughter and son-in-law on board, and he's a doctor's son, and she had swallowed handfuls of different vitamins and supplements through the years that we never saw help, so she was skeptical, but she said she'd pray about it. Thank goodness. She got to the point where she was desperate, and she called me one night and said, Mom, I need to try that stuff. Can you please help me get it? And so that led to our whole family being on these products. First, she just stopped going downhill. We weren't really sure what to think, but then her allergy symptoms got so much better. She came off allergy medication. She'd had frequent debilitating migraines, and so had 3 others of us in the family. We all are migraine-free. She will have a few a year, but she used to have several a month, so that's wonderful. She also had been confined to a wheelchair, unable to even walk across the room. She gradually came out of that wheelchair. She got to realize her dream of going to graduate school, has finished a master's, and is now finishing a doctorate. And, she's not healed or cured, but she's had a quality of life that had left her return to her. And the outlook they were giving her for the transplant she was being headed for 8 years ago was that if everything went well, and they didn't really feel like it would, but if everything went well, she might have about 5 years more added. She is now 8 years out from that and no transplant at all. I cannot tell you how wonderfully surprised we were for that result. Her doctor during the first year wrote a prescription for her Relive products, and that's when she was taken out of consideration for the transplant because the doctor said, frankly, you don't qualify anymore. You have to be dying. I cannot tell you what those words meant to all of us. So we still have our daughter 8 years since. And so it's life-saving for her, in my opinion. And for me, it's been life-changing. I was battling low thyroid function for years. I had brain fog. I had weight I couldn't get off, chronic exhaustion, had to take 1 to 2 hour naps every day. I had those migraines. And I had lived that way many, many years. For 15 years before Relive, I just had stopped going anywhere by myself. So I was not living a normal life. I was pretending to, but I wasn't. And Relive got into my body just like the rest of ours, and it began to help the body do the job it's supposed to be doing when it has the tools. And so what happened was my low thyroid function, which was the root of my problems, began to improve. And the brain fog lifted, and the trouble with weight began to go away. I just started losing weight, and I was on just the basic nutrition, and I wasn't dieting, but that weight just started coming off a pound at a time here and there to where by the end of the first year I'd lost 23 pounds. But the most important thing was that depression lifted, and my ability to live normally, to get in a car and drive somewhere without somebody else in the car, and to get on a plane and fly several states over by myself. Those were all things that were not happening and couldn't have happened. I wouldn't have even tried them when I was dealing with the horrible anxiety and panic attacks that had kept me home for those 15 years. But those are gone. Again, I'm so grateful. And what that did was it gave my life back, and it gave me the freedom to begin to talk to people because I wanted to help them. I wanted them to feel as much better as I was feeling. And so we reached out to some family and a few friends, and one thing led to another, and we had our first paycheck, and that was for $200, and for a stay-at-home homeschooling mom that had never brought an income in during her married life. That was wonderful. It has gone on to be never less than that, and my highest income in a given month was just a little over $4,000. And I do this around homeschooling. Yes, I'm still homeschooling the 2 youngest ones of the 7, and very busy, with family and church. And so, that's just been incredible for me. The income has helped, first of all, initially just to cover the price of our products for our daughter because we wanted to be sure that she had plenty. And then it's just grown into being such a rewarding thing to do, to be able to make a difference and to be able to share about that with people all across the world, for them to be encouraged. So we've been able to earn a couple of bonuses. One time we placed 7th in the nation and earned a $1,750 bonus. Another time we placed 3rd in the nation and received a $3,000 bonus. And both of those were a shock, and they were delightful, and they were a help to our family. So Relive has changed our path in every way, and I am so grateful that my friend kept on sharing.
Wow. What a wonderful journey that you've all been on. That is amazing, Debbie. I'm so grateful to you for sharing that story with us on this call. People need to hear all of it. That is just an amazing story, and I bet you treasure your friend.
Oh, my goodness, yes. The best of friends in the whole world.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and sharing so eloquently as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to hop back over here to a lady who did start her Relive business in America, came back to France, and now has moved to the UK, to England. And we've become very good friends, and I'm just delighted that she's on this call with us today. She's Presidential Silver Ambassador Caroline Labourier, and she has not only just an amazing story of her own, but her daughter's story is just really tugs your heart too. So, Caroline, would you like to share with everybody her story, a little bit of yours, and also, obviously, your journey with the business?
Yes, I would love to. Good evening, Leslie. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, fine. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So my name is Caroline Labourier, and I live in the beautiful city of Oxford in the United Kingdom. And I was introduced to Relive 8 years ago. I was living in Michigan, United States at that time. And originally I was interested in the business because I have 3 children, and I used to have a corporate job with a lot of stress, a lot of traveling, and I was not seeing my children and my husband. So when a neighbor introduced me to Relive, I instantly loved it because I saw a way to get out of my corporate job, to start a business full of purpose and without any financial risk. also, my youngest child, who was 2 years old at that time, was suffering from a genetic disorder, and part of your immune system is very compromised. So for me, it was very challenging to go back to work, and because there was no way I could put her in a kindergarten or have somebody look after her. And I started the products and the business at the same time, and my kids got started on the products pretty much at the same time. And what happened for our youngest one is basically part of her immune system doesn't work. So if she catches a bacteria, she can die within 24 hours because she'll have septicemia. And she started Relief. She was 2 years old. She's now 11, and she is just thriving. In 8 years, she's only had maybe 2 or 3 viruses that lasted 24 hours. She never had a sore throat. She never had a tummy bug or anything like that. Once she got injured at school and was not disinfected properly. So she had a temperature. She was rushed to hospital. She had a septicemia, and she survived the septicemia. Actually, the doctors could not believe that the bacteria hadn't spread in her body. It was just in her leg. Her body fought very well. So we're so thankful that somebody shared Relief with us one day, because it's part of my daughter's life. She will always have that condition, but her body and her immune system is so strong beyond anything we could hope for. So I just love these products and what they've done for our family. And the first year I worked for Relief was about 4 hours a week, because that's all I could do. I had other, commitments and work on the side. But after 1 year, I was earning about $1,000 a month. That covered the bilingual schools for kids, for example. But this is when I decided to go full-time, because I loved helping people with Relief. I loved teaching and training distributors, having customers, getting, better health on Relief. You just create wonderful relationships with people. So, 7 years later, Leslie, I have to say it's the best decision I've ever made, because I have an amazing quality of life. I work around my children and, my little one. If there's anything, I am there for her. The others too, of course, but, they're healthier. So, and I just love Relief. It's very purposeful. It gave purpose to my life. Actually, I feel I make a difference, even if it's a small difference. It is a difference in the many families' life. And my income is very high now. It was around $130,000 last year. So it completely changed our life as a family. And actually, for the first time in our life, we are about to purchase a house next week. I can put my sons through university here in the UK. It's minimum £10,000 a year. We can pay for that. And I'm just really so thankful for everything that we have because of Relief. And probably the best thing in those 8 years is all the people I've helped and the relationships I've had with all the Relief distributors. It's just a very, very special company, and I'm very proud to be part of it and very excited about the future. So that's my story, Leslie.
Well, absolutely, Caroline, and what a wonderful story it is. I know that, you came to Relief for the business, but the products also impacted your family so much, and your daughter. I mean, it's just, every time I hear you share her story, I just, it makes me want to weep, not for now, but for what it was like before. It must have been terrifying. And,
it was scary.
I'm so happy that all your family are well and that you now have this wonderful income that is going to just continue and change people's lives. It's because you've changed so many lives that your income has grown that way. So thank you so much for sharing. I know you're going to pop off because you have a very early start tomorrow. And, we're very grateful to you for sharing your story so well. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, Leslie.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye-bye. Well, I said at the beginning of the call, this is an international call, and I'm going to France now. So I'm going to go to Irene in France. Irene, don't worry about your English. You do very well. But if there's anything that I think maybe hasn't come clear, I'll just repeat it afterwards. So don't worry.
Okay.
But do share your story.
Good evening, Leslie. Can you hear me?
Amazing results. Okay, you there, Irene?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. If you could just speak up a little, wonderful. That would be good.
Sorry?
Could you just speak up a little?
Speak up, okay. So, yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Irene Mancebo, and I live in Fontenay-aux-Roses, near Paris. I'm at home. My situation allows me to take care of my father, and we live at home with my father, my husband, and one of my children. In the past, I had difficulty with my sleep that was superficial, and in the morning I felt tired and often wanted to rest in the day, even though I couldn't do it. I had a recurrent pain in the cervical of my neck due to a car accident 34 years ago. I started Relief end of October 2013. Quickly, my sleep became deep and beneficial, which gave me more energy during the day. I had my first result in the neck 3.5 months after starting the product, and recovered the flexibility and comfort in the movement of my head. I had a surprise recently after doing a routine blood test. In fact, when I was younger, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto, and with the Relief product, my thyroid has regulated itself, and it shows on the blood test. I am less cold, less tired, I have a better mood, and my hair has been growing back. So I'm very thankful to Relief and continue to take it daily. That's it.
Wow. That is amazing. I didn't realize just how much I need to connect somebody with you till you mentioned Hashimoto. So, you see, when you come on these calls, you always hear stories that make you think of people that you might be able to help. So I'll be back to you on that one, Irene. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I mean, amazing. Just being able to have that relief from your neck pain. I mean, I've had car accidents. I know what it's like when you have that residual pain that will never go away. And to be able to be relieved from that through taking the products, and also your thyroid sorting itself out. When people have Hashimoto's, their thyroid readings swing from one end of the spectrum to another. And to be able to stabilize that is just wonderful. And of course, sleeping better. That's something that we all feel when we get settled on Relief products. Our sleep pattern is not just better, but our experience of sleep is so much better. So thank you so much for sharing that for us, Irene.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome on the call. Yeah. Thank you. Well, now I'm going to hop back across the pond. We've been doing a bit of hopping tonight, but I'm going to go to Deanne. Deanne, you have such a story too, and also your husband's great story with his issues too. So would you just like to share with everybody what's happened for you, both pre-Relive and what's happened because of Relive, and how your business is built? It would be wonderful to hear your full story.
Absolutely, Leslie. I'd love to share. Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome.
Are now currently living in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We moved from Idaho just 3 weeks ago, so things are kind of in disarray around here, but I'm glad to share. It's a great place to be. I'm a former public school teacher. My husband is a retired Navy captain, also a retired IT professional. We heard about Relive 7.5 years ago. We were looking for help for a family member, just like so many others on this call, and started to take the products ourselves just to prove they didn't taste so bad. Of course, you all know they don't. It's delicious. We had been praying for my husband to get a job for over 2 years. He'd come home from Iraq and couldn't get a job anyplace. And I just thought for sure that he would, highly talented guy, he'd get a job right off the bat. And still he had 2,000 applications that he filled out, and no one would hire him. He handled an $18 billion contract in Iraq. He didn't lose a dime of the government's money, but over here, no one would even offer him a simple project management job. So I wasn't sure what we were going to do. We were living off of savings and investments, and praising God that we had those, and we're old enough to have saved all of that, but I wasn't sure how long that could continue. Well, we found out about Relive and started taking the products. My family members started to get results right away, as I did. And just to kind of finish our business story a bit, within 3 weeks we became master affiliates at the top profit level. I needn't have worried about putting that big order on a credit card, because within 3 months we'd paid that back and earned about $1,500, and the rest is history, as they say. We earned as much as $5,400 in a month. Then on 3 of those all-expense-paid trips that Relive spoils us rotten with, a couple of those were Caribbean cruises that are just delightful. And we have hope and purpose for our lives that we never imagined having in our 60s. In fact, I do have to tell you that my husband was so excited about what happened with our family and what the Relive product stories he was hearing could do for folks that he went back to school a couple of years ago to become a health coach. So he's a certified health coach, but he was also the only board-certified drugless practitioner in the state of Idaho. Now, I don't know what that's going to do for Colorado, and he wasn't going to hang up a shingle outside and set up a business in a box store, you know. But he says, I know how to spell nutrition now, and he can certainly tell people why Relive Nutrition is so very different from anything else on the planet. Like I say, we have a passion to share that I could not have imagined. Just very briefly for our health stories, I do have a daughter with depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, eczema, fibromyalgia. All of those issues have been dealt with. I have another daughter who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 9. She's now 28, and she has better blood sugar control than she's had in 14 years, praise God. For my husband, he has joint impact injuries, congested lungs and sinuses, some post-traumatic stress disorder, and weight gain. And on the same product, all of those issues have been dealt with, and he lost 54 pounds. And he's currently using Relive to try to eliminate a trauma-caused cataract from the war zone. For me, it was hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, weight gain, cranky attitude, being tired all the time, mood swings, food cravings, daily headaches, restless leg syndrome where your legs twitch and jerk and it makes it difficult to sleep at night, acid reflux so severe that I went to the cardiologist because I was afraid I was having a heart attack. I'd had 35 years of lower back pain and 22 years of nerve damage from a spinal cord tumor surgery. I would never have guessed that nutrition was the answer for all of those. And Relive Nutrition made the difference that all of those other products we've taken for 25 years, probably gagging down 25 vitamin pills every day, never even touched. I no longer deal with those hypoglycemic lows, been able to lose some weight, the daily headaches are gone, the migraine headaches that I have for 24 years are not something I deal with anymore. The restless leg and acid reflux were pretty much non-issues just in the first couple of months on the product. In fact, I went back in to see my cardiologist, Leslie, and I said, she's welcome to monitor my progress, but I wanted to be off those medications because I knew the side effects weren't good. I said, I'm taking Relive now, thank you very much. And to my great surprise, she said, I take Relive too. It's great nutrition. My mom's a distributor out of Nebraska. So with her blessing, I got off 6 prescription medications. That was 7 years ago. I feel better in my 60s than I did in my 50s. I no longer deal with daily debilitating back pain. And as far as that nerve damage I had, let me tell you, the doctor said it was permanent, but I can tell you now I've got about 95% touch back in my right hand. I can feel hot and cold. I can tell if I cut or burn myself. I can play piano and type on my computer. So I love life. I love Relive, and we are going to share this story until the cows come home.
Wow. Oh, gosh, everybody's stories tonight have just been, I say tonight here today for you in America, have just been so amazing. And it is, as Deanne says, all the same products. I mean, so why does that happen? Well, put very simply, it's not about the product, it's what your body can do with it. So we have an amazing range of product, and just our basic products feed your body so that enables your body to be the miracle. Your body will do what it can with that and does the healing. So Relive doesn't make any claims for cures. We don't diagnose anything. All we do is say, put this in your body, let's see what your body can do with it. So that's why we all get response to these products by taking the products to all different issues that we have. And if you're listening for the first time, you might be thinking, well, would that work for me because I have X, Y, or Z? It doesn't matter what's wrong with you. If you give your body the right fuel, you'll be absolutely amazed what your body can achieve. It doesn't always happen on day one. It's for everybody it's different, but it is just wonderful when we help people get great results. And as you've heard, it is all about helping people. Every single person sharing on this call is helping other people either get well and earn money, or earn money. Everybody's needs are different, and so we try and fulfill their needs as Relive distributors and help them get wherever they want to be. So I just think this has been an amazing call. It is number 56. If you want to listen to the replay, or somebody's missed this call and you want to get them to hear these stories. So if you're in America, you can get back to Joni for the replay number if you haven't already got it. And if you're in the UK or Europe, you can get back to me for the replay numbers. And then you want week 56 if it's this week's call that you're trying to access. You can go back